So I'll tell you a little bit about my journey through uncovering that I had become an incest survivor, or that I was an incest survivor, to where I am today. And I'll tell you that it's not an easy journey, and it is one that has lots of roadblocks and lots of obstacles, and that it is a journey that is definitely worth taking, because the end result is a wonderful life of your own choosing. When I got married, I suspected that I had been abused as a child, but I had buried it so deeply in myself that I just did not acknowledge that it was there. All of the signs certainly were there. I would not try anything. I was afraid to try anything. I had I had received a scholarship to go to university, felt that I was not worthy of going to university, so I chose not to go. I was afraid to leave the comfort of what I was doing. I was afraid of where that would lead me. I was afraid, quite frankly, of failure, but more importantly, of being successful. I didn't want to shine. I didn't want to be great in the world. I didn't want to be noticed. And that was one of the saddest parts of going through the childhood that I did, because we are all great people and we all do deserve to shine. And I just felt like I was tarnished, and I felt like there was no purpose for me to be great. So after I got married and had my children, it became apparent that this was going to be an issue as I started to see my children want to shine, and I wasn't allowing them to do that. I was struggling with how they were going to be these wonderful people that they were allowed to be, that they deserved to be, because I didn't know any better. I did not have the proper tools. I did not know what I needed to know in order to let these wonderful little creatures shine. And so I decided at that point that I needed to go through the therapy that I had to go through. I needed to go to the groups that I had to go to. I did a lot of reading. I talked to a lot of people. I did a lot of reflection, soul searching. And the bottom line on all of it was to forgive myself for thinking that way. That was a very big part of what was my healing, if you will. And I say the word healing, but I don't necessarily like to use that because I don't think we're ill. I don't think there's anything wrong with us. I don't think that we have a problem. I think that we have been made to believe that we are less than, and we're not. So I say healing, and maybe that's not the right term. But I did a lot of work around that, and because I learned how to forgive myself, that was the very first step for me. I began to realize that I was doing things I was doing because of the things I was taught, because of the things that all around me had perpetuated all of those untruths in my life. It was my perspective on how I was seeing things.